The September 28th, 2011 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee will now come to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Andrews.
Set that right there, Legislator.
Mr. Barker. Here. Chairman Daniele.
Here.
Mr. Esposito is excused. Mr. Haney. Mr. Hyder is excused. Mr. McCann. Mr. O'Brien. Dr. Quattro. Mr. Tucciarello. Mr. Yolovich.
Are there any speakers signed up for the public forum or anyone present who did not sign up who would like to speak?
There is not.
Very good. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have before you the August 24th, 2011 minutes. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of day today. Next item is new business. Madam Clerk.
Referral 11-216.
Moved by Legislator Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Barker. Is there any discussion? Legislator Andrews.
Thank you. And through you, Mr. Chairman, to the administration, this referral supports the mental health and drug treatment court programs in our county, which I'm certainly a strong supporter of and think have been very effective over the years. And I just have more of a request than a question. If it would be possible to be provided with a summary of the number of clients that have been served through the drug treatment court since we've had it in existence here, and if there's any sort of statistics about the percent of them that have been successful in those programs.
Through the chair, I would be happy to attempt to obtain those statistics. As just a question for clarification, would you also like statistics on the clients serviced in the other specialty courts, mental health court, veterans court, as well?
Sure, if it doesn't create an undue burden on you, that would be great. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? There being no further questions, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-217, acceptance
Moved
of a
by
grant.
Legislator Barker, seconded by Legislator McCann. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-218, acceptance of
Moved
a
by
grant.
Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Quattro. Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration, this referral talks about utilizing private counsel in the public defender and conflict defender's office. Could you just describe how private counsel is utilized, or in what capacity, please?
Through you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, as a result of a appellate backlog that was created a couple of years ago as a result of an increased number of appellate assignments that were given to the public defender's office, is due to this backlog, and since the number of appellate assignments has now gone back to what we would consider normal, approximately 200 cases per year, we have a backlog of approximately 350 cases that we need to work on addressing. In lieu of obtaining or trying to hire permanent staff, permanent attorneys that we would have to then terminate once we got through the backlog, we requested state funding that we could hire appellate attorneys on a contract basis to work on this backlog. Certainly, it's not uncommon for the assigned counsel program when the public defender's office has an ethical conflict to, through the assigned counsel program, hire appellate attorneys to then do contract appeals for the assigned counsel rate. So it is my intent, should this grant be approved, that we would then contract with similar appellate attorneys. They would be paid the assigned counsel rate of $75 an hour to work on these appellate backlog cases.
Thank you. And through the chair, do you have any idea how many you would plan on hiring?
Well, each attorney, I'm sorry, just as a clarification, how many total cases would be handled, or how many different attorneys would be handled?
Different attorneys, please.
Through the chair, it would largely depend on working with the appellate court, as they have to be approved attorneys through the appellate division, and so that we would work with them, and they'd have to sign off on whether the attorney is acceptable to them. I would imagine that it could be anywhere from 5 to 7 attorneys.
Thank you. And do you expect that if this is, how the grant period here is for a year, do you expect that within the year you'll be able to clear that backlog?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, realistically speaking, no. Given the amount of money that we've been awarded and that's been allocated to the use of contract attorneys, which is approximately $71,000, I don't anticipate being able to clear that entire backlog with that amount.
Okay, thank you. Just one last question. So in your opinion, then, it wouldn't just the hiring an additional attorney to your office wouldn't be the wiser course of action? It's better to utilize these funds to hire the appellate attorneys?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, yes. Obviously, the amount of money that is currently awarded that's being allocated to apply for this appellate backlog would not cover the cost to the county of retaining a full-time appellate attorney. Then, of course, the problem is if we don't receive these same grant funds in future years, then I would have to request that, of course, the county then agree to pay or allocate sufficient funds to retain that attorney. And obviously, it's difficult financial circumstances right now. So at this point, I believe this is the best course of action.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-219, acceptance
Moved by
of a
Legislator
grant.
Quattro, seconded by Legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-220, acceptance of a grant.
Moved by Legislator Tucciarello, seconded by Legislator Yolovich. Yes, Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, now that we have fortunately, our sophisticated new crime lab, should these kind of laboratory services be getting combined with the new crime lab?
Through the chair, the work of the medical examiners is to determine the cause and manner of death, and that is separate often, or majority of the time, from the public safety lab. But we certainly do entertain the opportunity to investigate savings by working together.
There wouldn't be any economies of scale or anything if all of the testing were done at the crime lab?
Through the chair, I'm not certain. I would have to get back to you.
Okay, I mean, it's just an inquiry that if you could, I'd appreciate it.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-221, acceptance
Moved by
of a
Legislator
grant.
Yolovich, seconded by Legislator Barker. Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, as I understand this, the United Way is giving $355,000 to the county, and the county is then giving $355,000 to the visiting nurse service. Why doesn't the United Way just give the money to the visiting nurse service?
Through the chair, the visiting nurse services is one of the contracts under the Nurse Family Partnership Program, and the funds the United Way is providing will fund a portion of that contract. So it's not the entire program. It's just a portion of the deliverables of the Nurse Family Partnership Program.
Oh, so the county has a bigger contract with visiting nurse service for these services, and this is an enhancement of that already, or a funding of part of that program?
Through the chair, yes, this is funding of the Nurse Family Partnership, a portion.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-222, acceptance
Moved by
of
Legislator
funding.
Barker, seconded by Legislator McCann. Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, my question here is the same, and maybe the answer is the same. As I understand this, the state is giving the county $75,000, and then the county is turning around and giving Lifespan $68,000, presumably keeping the difference for administration or something. Why doesn't the state directly contract with Lifespan?
Through the chair, there is a contract monitoring component. So our office will monitor the effectiveness on Lifespan and delivering the services. In addition, there's an evaluation component, and they can't evaluate themselves, so we'll be taking care of that as well.
Okay. So it's the structure of the state program that they have to have an intermediary?
Through the chair, yes.
Okay. On the purchase of services information form, it says there's 250 identified respite programs in the state, and we're going to recruit 400. How do you recruit 400 programs when there's only 250?
Through the chair, the projection was that we would recruit 250 organizations to be part of a statewide database that provides information on caregiver services. To date, we've recruited 400 organizations. We are also in the process of recruiting more. This is to be a robust database that includes respite and caregiver services across the entire state of New York.
Well, then the first line must be wrong. There must be at least 400 respite programs in the state then.
Through the chair, there's actually more than 400. That's how many we've recruited to date. The percentage of success is 162%, meaning we went well over what we projected in regards to recruitment of agencies to be part of this database.
So the 250 is not an attempt to itemize the number of respite programs in the state. It's the number of respite programs in the state that you had estimated you would be able to recruit.
Through the chair, that's correct.
Okay, that's different. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-223, authorized contracts.
Moved by Legislator McCann, seconded by Legislator Quattro. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-225, authorized
Moved by
contracts.
Legislator Quattro, seconded by Legislator Tucciarello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to the administration. Could you just explain what CHA Consulting and Passero Associates will do for the airport with this contract?
Through the chairman, Andy Moore from the airport. Through the chairman, Andy Moore from the airport. They will do term contracts for the particular engineering projects, whether it's on the land side or on the airfield side of the airport property.
And thank you. So what are they going to assist the airport with? Why are these services needed?
The services are needed because of their expertise in airfield engineering, their expertise with dealing with the FAA and the rules and requirements that the FAA places on airports, particularly small hub airports that Rochester would be categorized under. They do have an expertise in terminal type projects as they do projects for other airports throughout the country.
Thank you. In reading the referral, I guess it read to me as if the purpose here is really to assist, as it states, in obtaining federal funding and state funding for projects, and that sounded more like a lobbying type activity than what I think you've described. So this work then you see as substantially different than what the airport lobbyist does for you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
Referral 11-226.
Moved by Legislator Tucciarello, seconded by Legislator Jolovich. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-227, authorization.
Moved by Legislator Jolovich, seconded by Legislator Barker. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 11-228, authorization to
Moved by
advertise.
Legislator Barker, seconded by Legislator McCann. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries.
And referral 11-230, erroneous assessments.
Moved by Legislator
refunds.
McCann, seconded by Legislator Quattro. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before the committee at this time? Legislator Haney.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, a question. I've had a request in for over a month now for the Pure Waters consolidating financial statements and for the amount of the federal stimulus funding in 2009, 10, and 11, which has been promised on several occasions, and I'm wondering when I'm almost getting a sense that I'm being stonewalled, but I'm sure that's not true.
Through the chair, I can assure you you're not being stonewalled. Until you mentioned the ERA funding, I had completely forgotten about that request. The Pure Water stuff I'll have to you by the end of this week, and I'll have the ERA information as well. I apologize for the delay.
Thank you.
Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no further business, the September 28th, 2011 meeting of the Ways and Means Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting is scheduled for October 26th, 2011. Thank you.